through the mercy of God, rest in peace. Please sit down. I say so because he was the one who appointed General Iraboh. So without him, General Iraboh may not have written this book and will not be here. But on May 29, 2015, President Buhari, in his famous "I belong to everybody, I belong to nobody" speech, said that, quote, and I quote, "Boko Haram is a typical example of small fires causing big fires. An eccentric and unorthodox preacher and a tiny following by his extrajudicial killing." That is the killing of Yusuf, the beginning of the crime. 10 years later, the embers of Boko Haram fires have not gone out yet. And Nigeria must still answer the question as to how a gallant military that fought a civil war in 30 months routed the rebels in Liberia and Sierra Leone in record time. Yet, over 15 years later, we are unable to put out the fires, the small fires. There is death of passion in the Nigerian military, and General Iraboh deserves our commendation for opening up what I hope can become a major phase in mapping out how to rescue our country from the clutches of the devil. I owe, and all of us owe him, a debt of gratitude. But whether we resolve these scars by plastic surgery, or whether we can, like a Nigerian musician, Olumide, called Seal, who is famous not for his being handsome, but the kind of scars. If you see his face, you think it's an elephant, a leopard, tear his face. But he has turned his scars into something beautiful. So these scars, whether we resolve them by plastic surgery, I don't know. But I thank you, General, for the invitation. God bless you.
Wow. It's always the case anytime Bishop Matthew Hassan Kuka has to deliver an address. And this book review, I think, has gone beyond extraordinary. We need to applaud him and give him the deserved round of applause. Like we will say, he has spoken truth to power. Many things to take away from his presentation. Okay. Right. So after all of the handshaking, it is at least very good to know that there are a few things that Bishop Matthew Hassan Kuka doesn't know anything about. He mentioned oxytocin, and he says he doesn't know what oxytocin is. At least, my Lord Bishop, you can take it. They say oxytocin is a stimulating hormone. It is meant for stimulating childbirth, to stimulate the uterus of women. So I don't know why General Iraboh has referenced that. I'm not sure that they're injecting the soldiers with oxytocin, because that may account for excessive excitement and contractions. But indeed, as we've been told, it was the French writer and politician Victor Hugo who says to us that one can resist the invasion of an army, but one cannot resist the invasion of ideas. And that is the platform on which this book rests. But before I go on to bring on our next speaker, let me very quickly, with the permission of our chairman, recognize the representative of the Secretary to Government of the Federation. His name is Babatunde BB, Senior Technical Advisor and Head of Think Tank, Office of the Secretary to the Government of the Federation. Sir, we welcome you. I'd also like to recognize the gentleman representing the Governor of Bayelsa State, His Excellency Doye Diri. His name is Brigadier General Eric Anyai. So for both of you, we give our greetings and we welcome you. Of course, this event will be amplified out of here by the media. And so I'd like to welcome Adebayo Bodunri, a director in the News Directorate of Dark Communications. Thank you and welcome. And also let us recognize Barrister Charles Odenibo, CEO, The Media Today International. Thank you. You want to give them a round of applause. If you want, yes, they'll be happy. Great. We are told that to defend a country, you need an army. But to defend a civilization, you need education. I think this was what was playing in the mind of our next speaker, whom I'd like to welcome now to speak to us. Not only was he president, he has gone on to become regional leader, contributing to electoral reforms and outcomes in defense of democracy, safeguarding citizens and ensuring ethical governance. He understands Nigeria and has first-hand insights into the Boko Haram scourge. He set up the Victim Support Fund at the height of the Boko Haram scourge, and of course is known, amongst many other things, for setting up the Al-Majri schools in Nigeria. Boko Haram predated his assumption of office as president, but he took office and its activities were most manifested, I think, during his government. Ladies and gentlemen, with your kind applause, it is with great respect that I'd like us to welcome President Goodluck Ebele Jonathan.
Thank you so much. Protocol because of the time, but there are some few people that we need to recognize. Let me sincerely appreciate our president being represented by the Minister of Defense. Let me appreciate the chairman of this occasion, our daddy, Chief Olusegun Obasanjo. Let me also appreciate the person who brought us here and the wife, General Iraboh. Thank you for gathering us to celebrate this book. The keynote speaker, let us appreciate the former NSA. We're happy. And let us appreciate the book reviewer, Bishop Matthew Hassan Kuka. Whenever Kuka is to speak, I'm always pleased because it's more of a scholar than a bishop. I have to thank all of you who are here, serving ministers, former ministers, serving governors, deputy governors, and former governors, serving members of the National Assembly and former members of the National Assembly. But let me really appreciate our traditional institutions led by the Sultan of Sokoto and other traditional rulers are here with us. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, I will not take much of your time because we've listened to eloquent speakers. We've listened to the chairman, we've listened to the book reviewer, we've listened to the former NSA. So I don't really have much to add. But let me first appreciate the man, Iraboh, General Iraboh. He's really, really a fine officer. And it's somebody who, the little I know, doesn't play politics with military. After leaving office, when I was in office, I thought that the military services don't play unnecessary politics. Well, we know there's politics everywhere, but they play the politics of within the army, not the kind of politics we play. But after leaving office, I realized that quite a number of professionals in the security services play dirty politics. But General Iraboh is one person that does not get into that. White is white, black is black. Thank you, you're a gift to this country. And the title of the book is quite interesting, Scars and the Boko Haram Conundrum. It is interesting because, you know, when I was in office, and one of the major scars on my government, and it would be on my face, and like Bishop Cook has said, no plastic or cosmetic surgeon can remove it, is the issue of the Chibok girls. It's a scar that I will die with. But later on, people may know a little more details. And that's also to do with the Boko Haram. What do they really want? Of course, our chairman raised the issue when interviewed some of them, and they gave him some perspective. But probably one day, I pray that some of the Boko Haram leaders may be literate enough to document what they have done so that people will really know what they wanted. Because it's like the story of the Nigerian Civil War. If you read one of the books, My Command, I think that's one of the first books that came out from President Obasanjo, because he was there. Then Ojukwu wrote his own, Because I Am Involved. So when those who were involved in something say it, you get a different perspective. If you go through a research, interview a lot of people, yes, you'll get part of the story, but you will never get the full story of the Boko Haram. When I was vice president to late Iraboh, of course I took over 2010 for 5 years, battling with the Boko Haram until I left. I thought that immediately I leave, within a reasonable time, late General Buhari was going to wipe them out, but till today, the Boko Haram is still there. So the issue of Boko Haram is a little more complex than sometimes we can conjecture. In 1999, when Obasanjo just became a president, we know we had some issues in the Southwest. But government was able to bring it down because there was a clear focus, there was a clear reason, and government was able to. Then we had issues in the Niger Delta. And when I became the vice president, one of the major things I did was to visit the most dangerous camp of the militants in the Niger Delta. I remember when we flew down to Warri, by the time we got to the waterfront to take boats to that camp, they sent information to us that anybody following me must not carry a weapon. My ADC, my CSO, that nobody should carry a weapon. In fact, the Commissioner of Police of Delta State said, Vice President, no, you will not go there. No, I will not go. I told them I will go. So even my officers, my ADC, my CSO, and so on, they handed over their guns to the CP and the SDS of Delta State, and none of them carried a weapon. When we landed at the camp, these boys lined up one this way, one road this way, with their assault rifles, just facing the bush, not even looking at my direction as if there was nothing happening. We passed through them, sorry. We had a meeting with their leaders and so on. We had spent almost 1 hour there. When we came back, that was the beginning of solving the the Niger Delta crisis. And we're able to get through. At least now, there's a reasonable pace in the Niger Delta. If you, like Bishop mentioned, the 82 and 83, when we have the Maitasinde religious crisis in this country. From research, the Maitasinde religious crisis, when some of them were arrested and analyzed and interviewed, they came from parts of the Sahel area within Nigeria and outside Nigeria, where we had major drought within that period. And the reader pest to bring it down because there was a clear reason. A reason of young people who were looking for survival, but they had no skills, and so on and so forth. So if you put all these things together, you begin to say, this Boko Haram, why is it that from 2009 till date, we've not been able to resolve the crisis of Boko Haram? So just like Bishop Kuka tried to raise some fundamental issues, yes, we need to approach it differently. The issue of carrots and the stick may be adopted. And yes, probably they need something, but if you look at the weapons they use and you value the weapons, then you know that these are not hungry people. So the soldiers that sometimes capture some of the weapons will see better. But the weapons they use, the ammunitions they use, sometimes they even have more ammunitions than our soldiers. So it doesn't show that they're hungry people. And where are these guns, sophisticated weapons coming from? And you begin to see that the external hands are also involved, especially when I was a president. So it's a bit complex. And it's not a matter of a single story. But I believe as a nation, we have to look at the concept of Boko Haram and approach it differently from the conventional approach. We'll get for this because I always appreciate people who clearly document events so that maybe sometimes when we write our own, we'll borrow from your documentation. And I believe that all the military officers who were involved in this should be able to give us information about what the Boko Haram stood for. Because it will look as if I am trying to defend my own government. That will come up later when we will document, we'll write our books. But I believe we took different options, set different committees. We tried our best within that 5 years that I was there. I believe late Buhari too must have tried his best because one of the with government. So I was feeling and have discussions with the government committee. Then when Buhari took over, it could have been an easy way to negotiate with them and they would have handed over their guns, but it was still there till today. I believe the government, luckily the defense minister is here. We will need slightly different approach, and God willing, we will be able to resolve this crisis. I thank you all.
Excellency, the representative of the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, the Honorable Minister of Defense, invited guests, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, it's always an incredible honor to a man referred to as an international statesman whose life reads like a movie, former deputy governor, former governor, president, became His Republic of Nigeria. Former President Goodluck Jonathan has made his intervention, and there are so many food for thought within that intervention that we can take to the bank. Let's give him another Abuja round of applause. Your Excellencies, very distinguished ladies and gentlemen, taking a point from the comment that has been made by my Lord Bishop about how deeply Catholic myself and Dr. Nzeku are, a very deeply Catholic woman who supports a lot of work to do with children and a lot of work to do with anything that has to do with national development. is Dame Dr. Adora Omeji, Group Managing Director of Zenith Bank, and she has sent a worthy representative in the person of Mr. Akwarando, General Manager, to join us here today. We truly thank you. I'd like to put on record that former Chiefs of Defense Staff are here in the room with us. As always, General Iraboh was intentional, and the top military brass of Nigeria are here. Former service chiefs are also here, and those who have held top-level commands here. As has been mentioned by the book reviewer, in the United States, those who have served in various military positions, and any soldier passing is told, we thank you for your service. If they are on a plane, people give up their seats. If they are in a bus, people give up their seats. If they go to eat and they are in uniform, people pay for them. Like our book reviewer, my Lord Bishop, has said, we need to do more. We can't see everything. We only see a fraction of the work that they do to keep us safe. Let's give all those who have served this nation and still serving a big round of applause. Your Excellencies, distinguished guests, a couple of years ago, I did some work for the United Nations office in charge of drugs and another United Nations office that is collaborating with the National Counterterrorism Center in Nigeria. The United Nations Office for Disarmament Affairs and the National Counterterrorism Center collaborates with the United Nations Office on Drugs and Crime and the United Nations Office of Counterterrorism. And the main issue for that gathering was de-radicalization of young people who are being recruited into the various insurgency groups, because it's quite easy to manipulate the minds of young children. And so there is 1,385 children recruited by Boko Haram between 2017 and 2019, and at least 8,000 children have been recruited by Boko Haram and a splinter group, ISWAP, and around 60% of those affected by the Boko Haram are youths. And the work that is going on is that this work of ensuring that children are not radicalized is front and center between the Office of the National Security Advisor and the Office of the Chief of Defense Staff. But a man who has served in the military, the very highest level, has said, quote, there is the need for Nigerians to see one another as one and as well continue to be our brother's keeper at all times. Our unity is not negotiable in Nigeria. We are one and will continue to be members of the same family. This quote comes from His Eminence. I would like now to introduce him. His Eminence, Alhaji Muhammadu Saad Abubakar III, the 20th Sultan and spiritual leader of Nigerian Muslims, President General of the Nigerian Supreme Council for Islamic Affairs, an advocate of peace, justice, and ethnic harmony, and also a co-chair of the Nigeria Interreligious and President General of the Nigerian Supreme Council for Islamic Affairs. Your Eminence, sir, it's time for you to address us. Please give him a round of applause as he makes his way up here.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم وصلى الله على النبي الكريم. I recognize the President, very ably represented by the Minister of Defense, the Chief Celebrant, whom we are all here for, and his very strong, able wife, his best part, I won't say better part, his best part, The, the two musketeers, two presidents, one head of state, then president, one president for 5 years, one a title holder of Sokoto, and the chairman of this occasion. You are shaking your head. I recognize the book reviewer and all serving retired top military, paramilitary officers here, ably led by the Chief of Defense Staff, our Sokoto boy, General Chris Musa. I greet you in the best form of greeting. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. I don't know how many minutes I'm given because it's not stated, but even when the chairman said we should take only 5 minutes, he did not include me because he cannot give what he doesn't have. And I will take my time because this is a very, very important program in this country and in the military. And I would like to thank all of you who turned up because the attendance here really showed how serious we are in overcoming the insecurity problem in this country by honoring General Iraboh's book and being here. I've seen so many service chiefs retired. I've seen IGs. I've seen so many other people that I know honoring the invitation of Lucky. Lucky, you are very lucky that you can bring this crowd to a book launch that is so important to us. For some of us who have been in the military and are still in the military, we know the importance of your book. And when you call me and then send me the letter, I do not hesitate to accept to be part of this program because of its importance. The 5 minutes given to me by the chairman of the occasion, I will add the minutes taken by the two masters of ceremony. After each speaker has spoken, they will take about 5 more minutes to speak. So plus all the minutes Eugenia and Henry took, I will add those minutes to my own. I would like to thank the book reviewer whom we were together just some couple of days back in Sokoto with General Obasanjo at a very important program. And I would like to also try to, I'm not going to say anything about insecurity or the way to end insecurity or whatever it is. No. I want to adopt all what's been said from the beginning of this program, because these are the ways and means of resolving such issues. But what President Jonathan said, I was expecting him to make a very strong comment about how he really dealt with the issue of Boko Haram, which he used both the military and myself and other stakeholders. But maybe he decided not to because a book is coming after that from him on how I dealt with Boko Haram issue. And let me also correct you, like I am happy to hear that the Boko Haram is not really Boko Haram. That's not their name. I'm glad to hear that from somebody who is not me. If I were the one who is saying that, somebody would say yes, because I know them. And that's not their name, because I know that they never claimed Boko is haram. If you have listened to some of their audio, which I had privilege of listening to, they said they didn't say Boko is haram, because so many of them have also gone to school. And they said you cannot open somebody's brain and remove the education in his head. So he had only acquired that knowledge, that education. He's an engineer, he's a doctor, he's whatever it is. What they are saying is that those who have gone to school and are educated are leading bad governments. What they're after is the issue of bad governance, because they want to be free, they want to do whatever they feel they should do. And I want to correct, and I'm glad this is carried on TV, live. I want to correct this wrong notion that people, non-Muslims, hold about jihad. Jihad is not to kill a non-Muslim by a Muslim. Jihad means to strive. And in whatever you do in life, you strive to be the best you can be. You strive to be a good Muslim. You strive to be a good Christian. You strive to be a good farmer or a good engineer. So jihad is not to kill a non-Muslim. That's a wrong notion people have been airing out for decades. And I wrote a foreword on a book. Written by very high stakeholders across the world, published by the King of Jordan. And I wrote that forward, and I believe that book will be brought back again, because it was about 13, 14 years ago, and it talked about the uses and abuses of jihad. Because at the back of the book, I remember very well, because they said one of the most fearsome word a non-Muslim would hear is the word jihad. And it's true, because people have already given it a very negative connotation, but it is not. And so let's live here with that notion that, look, jihad is to strive, it's not to kill a non-Muslim. Because as we know as Muslims, it's in the Holy Quran, you cannot take somebody's life without due process. You cannot kill somebody. Because they said to kill a life, take a life or kill somebody, it's like taking the whole of humanity. That's without being following due process. But these are things that scholars will tell you about. So let's live here with this notion that jihad is not to kill, because we are living peacefully with one another. I'm a Muslim, and I know I'm a Muslim. If you're a Christian, you know you're a Christian. Then when we understand one another, we are better equipped to deal with one another. Because I know who you are, you know who I am. There's nothing you can do to me. There's something I can do to you. Understanding is the most important thing. We understand one another and live peacefully in this country. And I want to also correct the notion that when Bishop Kuka talked about Islamism, if you use some words maybe in a wrong manner, or somebody might feel Islam is negative. Islamism is not aimed at seizing power at any particular forum. Islam is after good governance in society. And whoever is there, President Goodluck Jonathan was president, we gave him 100% support throughout his presidency. Nobody said anything negative about it. He knows that, and he's here. So Islamism is not what you think it is. It's a wrong notion that you are bringing up here, that is to seize power. It's not to seize power. We're after good governance. September 2019, I gave a talk on Islam and good governance in Nigeria. President Buhari was just going in for his second term. After I finished my talk, the following day, papers carried it, I was aiming at President Buhari's second term, because I said things that a good Muslim should do as a leader and what he should not do. And these are written. So we have a code. We have a code of conduct. We have ways and means of life, the Holy Quran and the hadith of our most noble Prophet Muhammad and the consensus of the ulama, that's the clerics. These are three things guiding us. Anybody coming outside this to say things that he really doesn't know about is not speaking, it's not for Islam. Because Islam abhors extremism. Islam abhors extremism. You cannot be an extremist and then claim to be a good Muslim. So let's learn some of these issues, and then when we're talking about insecurity or security in our great country, we have to be careful in how we say things, how we present them. And another particular paper I'm talking about, I gave Bishop Kuka a copy, Islam, what Islam means in good governance. So let's come closer as one big family with different backgrounds and forge ahead to make this country a better country. Because there's nothing anybody can do about a Christian or a Muslim, being who he is. Because when we are coming to the world, we didn't beg Almighty Allah to bring us into the world as Muslims or Christians or Jews or whatever it is. He decided in his own right to bring into the world as a Christian or a Muslim or whatever it is. We must learn to respect one another. We must learn to live with one another. We must learn to help one another because we must be our brother's keepers. And so many Christian leaders here know that. It's in the holy books also that we must be good to ourselves. And I want to thank the chairman of the occasion for coming to Sokoto once more. And I assure you all, we are here to do our best to help our governments at all levels, from the presidency to the states, to National Assembly, to our very gallant military officers and soldiers, because we know what they are doing, we know how they are doing things in a very difficult manners, because I'm a privileged person to sit with them always to discuss what they do, from the CDS down to the service chiefs, and we exchange notes. So people that you sit together with and discuss, you can never be against them. So I count myself as one of them, and I'll forever be one of them, because let me correct people, generals don't retire. Because when you start calling Iraboh general retired, no, he's not retired. He's a general and a first-star general. If Iraboh wears his uniform now and march into the field, he'll be fighting insurgents. You can see him how smart he is. So generals don't retire. But I want to commend our armed forces. You are there doing the difficult one for us. And we thank you and we continue to pray for you, to urge you to continue to do your best. Don't look back. Forget about the comments of other people, the not so good people that always see you as government tools. You are not government tools, you are national tools. You are not for president or governors or whatever. You are for the nation. That's what you should know in whatever you are doing, whenever you're going for operations. You can name 100 operations, it doesn't matter. Those people don't know how you change nomenclature of operations. It's to suit the environment, nothing more. So it's not that you have failed, you have not failed. You are still doing your best. Continue to do your best, and we urge our political leaders, the Minister of Defense is here, give them the best you can give them, and inshallah, we will not eliminate insurgency, but we will use it to the maximum that we can. I mean, to the minimum level that we can go about doing our normal lives. So finally, I would like to also, as somebody just mentioned quietly, maybe do we put together all our service chiefs, both military, paramilitary, lock them in a room, tell them, bring out a solution on how do we end this? Because experiences matter. You cannot buy experience. Somebody who was chief of defense staff 10 years ago, 20 years ago will still have, how did you do your own? How did you succeed? How did you become short of total success? When you sit down and discuss this, I think you will come up with a very, very important document that you will just march to the commander-in-chief. He will give you the marching orders, give you the resources, and the country will be a much better country. So we thank you most sincerely, and we thank Lucky and your wife. Wish you all the very best, and I wish you also safely back to our various destinations at the end of this program. And I greet you in the best form of greeting. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. As always, I tell people, let's tell ourselves the home truth. Let's not hold back. Let's know that, yes, we have conscience. And Amfodio said, conscience is an open wound, only truth can heal it. Thank you.
His Eminence has spoken, not just as a spiritual leader, but he has also spoken as a general who has worked in the military. He has given commendation to the armed forces, and he has illuminated some of the terms within his spiritual realm. Let's give another round of applause to His Eminence, please. The region of Nigeria that has suffered most from Boko Haram is the northeast region of Nigeria. The managing director of the Northeast Development Commission is represented by Professor Abba Gana Mohammed, Head of Research and Planning. We thank you for being here. Your Excellencies, the representative of the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, Minister of Defense, Excellencies, former presidents of the country, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, we thank you for staying the tide and for supporting this book. A man who just rose from the conference, the highly successful conference of African Chiefs of Defense Staff, is a man who is Nigeria's Chief of Defense Staff. He galvanized that meeting and is the maiden one, and it was highly successful. Please help me welcome Nigeria's Chief of Defense Staff, General Chris Musa, who would now deliver his intervention.
Thank you very much, Auntie Eugenia. Well, where am I to start from? It seems I'm the one in the uniform today, but like it was said, generals never retired. Every general that is here has the uniform deep down inside. For me, it's a privilege to be here today with the wonderful personalities here. Shows the love, the respect we have for General Iraboh for putting this book in. Please permit me to stand on the already established protocol, because time, I think, has already gone so far. It gives me great honor and profound joy to stand before you on this special occasion, being the launching of the book titled Scars, Nigeria's Journey and the Boko Haram Conundrum. The author, General Lucky Elonye Onyenuche Iraboh, not retired, our immediate past Chief of Defense Staff, and an icon of the armed forces of Nigeria. Today is significant as it also marks the celebration of General Iraboh's 60th birthday, a milestone that reflects not only the grace of God, but also a lifetime of service, sacrifice, and enduring patriotism. General Iraboh is a soldier's soldier. His name resonates with courage, discipline, intellect, and integrity. We say thank you, sir. I stand here today not only as his successor, but also as one who has benefited immensely from his towering example, steady mentorship, and inspiring leadership. His footprints across our nation's military history remain indelible, particularly in the fight against insurgency and terrorism. And this book is what we're going to use as our précis. I had the privilege of also being the theater commander when he left years later. I was there for about 19 months. And the book captures everything that's going on, everything that has been wrong, and the solutions that are required to move forward. So it is for us as a nation to look at this clearly, faithfully, truthfully, in order to find solution to what is going on. And as it has been said, it is not only a military solution. From my experience, the military solution is just about 25–30% of the solution. General Mongunu was here and he spoke about national cohesion. As long as we don't love ourselves as Nigerians, or we don't look at ourselves as our brothers' keepers, this will continue. If we want this to end, we must learn to live together as brothers and sisters. And it is not magic, it must be deliberate. Countries have evolved over time because they've looked at it and realized, we have seen countries like Singapore, with all the challenges they had, they stood and said, look, it's either we stand and die or we walk and develop, and they have walked and they have developed. If we want to move forward, we must deliberately consciously make Nigeria great. No one else will do it. I'm sure we remember not long ago, some people have prophesied that by 2015, Nigeria was going to disintegrate. It's not just a mere say. They had what they were looking for. And I'm sure they're surprised that Nigeria is still standing and still standing strong. It shows the resilience of us as Nigerians. But we must go further than that. Boko Haram can be defeated. It is a whole of society approach to the solution. It's not a one-off thing. Like I said, it must be deliberate. Where we got to where we are today, when it started, it should have been nipped in the bud. Asymmetric warfare is a different kind of warfare to conventional kind of warfare. Conventional, you are dealing with states. Asymmetric warfare, the enemy is within. It could be your brother, it could be your father, your mother. The enemy is within. And identifying him is one aspect. And because they are dealing with ideology, it's not written on the forehead. It's within his mind. So you must find solution to the mindset of the people that are doing these things. And also look outward, because there are also people from the outside that are ready to ensure that they continue to succeed and the country continues to fail. We must not allow them succeed. And I'm sure working together, we will continue to win. His footprints across our nation's military history remain indelible, particularly in the fight against insurgency and terrorism. Even in retirement, he has continued to add his quota to solving the security challenges facing us as a country. His contribution is obvious in the launch of all this important book today. We just had the African Chief of Defense Staff Conference, and he was there to bring his vast knowledge and experience to bear. And I can tell you it made a lot of difference, because all the chiefs of defense staffs that came, over 32 of them from African countries, knew that we as Africans need to take the challenges, need to take what is going on our own without having to wait or rely on any other person from somewhere to do that for us. It's on this note that I will also be giving some of my views on the way forward for national security in Nigeria. As we're aware, the security challenges across our country today is multifaceted and dynamic. Therefore, our national security approach must be dynamic and inclusive, engaging all sectors of society through a whole of society strategy. The current view of national security being strictly a responsibility of the security agencies need to be readdressed. We also need to strengthen our institutions such as the judiciary to speed up the process of bringing culprits to book. Furthermore, the capacity of all security agencies must be persistently enhanced to ensure that they all play their statutory roles professionally and diligently. The family institution is also critical to the national security of our nation. The failure of the family values is also affecting what is going on in the country as we speak today. We must therefore ensure that the national security starts with the family, because it's the unit of every community. This can only be achieved through a deliberate, sustained national orientation strategy with focus on educational programs across all strata of learning. Community engagement with local communities to build trust and help gather necessary intelligence is also very necessary. While in Maiduguri, that was the approach we took. We made everybody in the Northeast to understand that for us to win, everyone has a role to play. If you're a market woman, if you're working at the motor park, if you're a church leader or in the mosque, you have a role to play. And working together, we were able to succeed. This can only be achieved through the deliberate, sustained national orientation strategy with focus on educational programs across all strata of learning, community engagement with local communities to build trust and help gather intelligence is also very necessary. Such cooperation builds a sense of togetherness and facilitates patriotism from the grassroots. The integration of technology is also vital to national security, as leveraging technology will enhance security surveillance and response, particularly due to our large landmass and population. Our borders, as we understand, very porous, over 4,000 kilometers, 1,500 kilometers border with Niger Republic, part of our main issues that we are having. Also important and necessary is regional cooperation and collaboration, because we can't do it alone. The multinational joint task force is working seriously. We need to enhance the capacity as well as the joint operations. The multinational task force in Chad remains a successful model for collective action against insurgents exploiting porous frontiers due to the effect of the worsening security situation in the Sahel, climate change effects. Lastly, and most importantly, we must all collectively address the root causes of insecurity, such as poverty, unemployment, and lack of education. We must also ensure that citizens do not feel voiceless, helpless, or marginalized. By working together with the government agencies, civil society, and international partners, we can build a safer and more prosperous Nigeria. With those brief views, I want to once again congratulate General Iraboh on the launch of this wonderful piece of literature and celebrate him at 60. Let us draw inspiration from his journey, as his life reflects discipline, humility, courage, and unwavering faith in Nigeria. He has demonstrated that leadership is not only about self and personal gain, but about service and leaving behind legacies that uplift others. Those legacies are what we are following. I want to take this advantage to also talk to Nigerians that the armed forces of Nigeria is committed to ensuring that Nigeria is secured and is safe. And we are doing everything possible within the means available to ensure that we achieve that. And then I assure you, working together as a team, as Nigerians, hand in hand, we will defeat this enemy. But we need your support. And I can tell you as we speak, we have thousands of your troops in the trenches, in the jungles, up the mountains, working 24 hours to ensure that nothing happens to us. And I think they deserve some commendation. On behalf of the Armed Forces of Nigeria, I extend warm congratulations to you, sir, on this milestone birthday, and deep appreciation for your continued contributions to our nation. You have fought gallantly, led wisely, and written your name in the chronicle of Nigerians' history. We are proud to celebrate you. May God grant you a long life, good health, and continued relevance in serving our great nation, the Federal Republic of Nigeria. Happy birthday, sir, and congratulations on the successful launch of your book. Thank you, and God bless you.
Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, as the Chief of Defense Staff makes his way down, it pleases me to bring to the microphone a man that will be very thrilled to speak to us this morning. He was Chief of Defense Staff himself, 2003 to 2006, and was former Chief of Army 2001 and 2003. And in that period, the author today was his aide-de-camp, his ADC. Please join me respectfully as we bring to the microphone General Alexander Ogomudia. Fellow Nigerian Society of Engineers, holder of the CFR. Yes, sir. The boss who has mentored another boss.
I've been given 4 minutes, so I think I should even leave all protocols. But like an earlier speaker said, there are some people too important that, at least in my life, that we just can't ignore them. So I want to start with the President and Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, ably represented by our Honorable Minister for Defense. My daddy, my boss, former President Aremu Olusegun Okikiolu Obasanjo. And then, of course, I also amiable former president, Goodluck Ebele Jonathan, the Sultan, my Lord Bishop, and the Esunupe, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. I have not read the book, so I have no comment at all on the book. But I would like to start by an assessment of what I see of the approach of Nigerians to security. Oftentimes you get a call, particularly in the Delta, sir, I'm burying my father today, or burying my father, say, a given date. And I would like if you can send some soldiers to guard, to support us. And my immediate answer is that, my friend, the army is not there to do the burial of your father. The army is a national institution. Now, why is this important? It's important because of the perception of the people about what the army should be doing. All sorts of things you hear. The army has a role. In fact, we will solve the security problem when all of us begin to play our role, including even the local government chairman. There are some things that happen at local government level. There are issues that have been driven by those chairmen. So the customs, immigration, police, prisons, or no, correctional service, correctional service, and civil defense, Army, Navy, Air Force, everybody has a role. And until we all play that role, I'm afraid security will continue to escape us. If we take security, for instance, as an enterprise, then of course we must know that there should be an objective. There will be a mission. And therefore, if you have that, then you are going to have structures to be able to achieve that. Those structures also must have some authority, they must have some manpower, they must have some training, they must have procedures for what they want to do. And therefore, we will always have an opportunity to reflect on those things anytime we want to actually get security right. In Bishop Puka's presentation, I noticed two questions, well, a question that he raised, which was that of end of Boko Haram. That will come when we look at the actual theory of revolutionary and counter-revolutionary war. You are not going to be able to kill every Boko Haram person, but you will kill them so much so that you drive them underground. And that leads to why you will have things like preparatory stage, then where suicide bombers are coming in, and then things like open offensive, and then maybe limited war when they have a foreign backer. That is what will happen. So if we beat them sufficiently, it will go underground. But that must also take along the non-kinetic effect, because these people are responding to certain stimuli in the society. So you must do something to solve the problems that are addressing those things. Now, so we talk of solutions, or maybe another point he made. You were looking for an operations room at the presidency. No, it is when you have a war that has halted production in a country. That's the only time you can have that sort of thing. But otherwise, the ops room in the defense headquarters and other headquarters, service headquarters, can solve the problem. The So what should be the way forward? Now, one of the things that I think is so critical about the way security is going is because of impunity. A lot of things are happening. In fact, I've said to some people, if we can see God, some Nigerians will slap him. That's the situation. So it means that we need to do more to punish people for what they are doing. And in this regard, intelligence is key to what we do. In fact, this war, a better part of it is intelligence. Once you can locate the real person you want, you go for him and you take him out. It's not a long story of taking him to go and keep him in some jailhouse and 8 years, nothing done to him until they come and plan the escape and all that. No, you must take them out. Now, the leaders also must find a way to start the solution of a problem at the beginning. You see, we tend to leave this thing too late. And once you tackle insecurity at the beginning, you can solve the problem, because at that time they have not built up. They don't have logistics, they don't have all what it takes to be able to do things that can damage the country. But if you don't do that and you wait until they have gone far, then you are going to need a war to fight or to solve the problem. And that's precisely the situation Nigeria is in. Thank you. All right. Thank you, sir. Yes.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Apologies, sir, that we had to help you abridge your address, but nonetheless, the message is clear. Please, a round of applause for former Chief of Defense Staff, General Alexander Ogomudia. Ladies and gentlemen, we have come to a point that is close to the high point of this afternoon's occasion. We're told that if your actions inspire others to dream more, learn more, do more, and become more, you are a leader. So says the 6th President of the United States of America. You would agree with me that this afternoon we're bringing to you a man who first and foremost is an engineer, holds a master's in international affairs, another master of strategic studies, a man who was theater commander, Lafia Dole, commander of multinational joint force at N'Djamena, Chad. He was Chief of Defense Staff 2021 to 2023, and today he's added the title author to his long list of accomplishments. Please, for the biggest applause of the afternoon, let us welcome General Lucky Iraboh.
Thank you, sir. Your Excellency, Mr. President, Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces, Asiwaji Bola Ahmed Tinubu, GCFR, here ably represented by the Honorable Minister of Defense. We are delighted to have you, Your Excellency. I would thank you for coming. Our father, mentor, I want to thank you for accepting to be the chairman with the entreaties. I recall that morning when you called me after sending a message. As you asked me, sorry to wake you up. I said, Your Excellency, I'm awake. Actually, I was not awake. But when I heard your voice, I had to wake up. Thank you so very much for indeed not only offering the forward, but also being the chairman of this occasion. And for our guest of honor, the former president, I would like to also thank you. Our royal fathers, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, I know that our time is fast spent, and I thought that it's necessary for me to join my wife to also welcome you again to the launch of this book, Scars, Nigeria's Journey, and the Boko Haram Conundrum. No doubt, as the MC said, today is a milestone in my journey as an author. I never knew that this is the life of an author. I think, in fact, from the experience I now have, I have utmost respect for anyone who has put his pen on paper to author a book. Congratulations. This book is a product of years of reflection on my experiences as a military officer, engaged in addressing the Boko Haram insurgency as already indicated. In writing it, I sought to investigate the phenomenon, to examine its roots and complexities, and to contribute my own way to finding lasting solutions to this national crisis. Let me pause to express my gratitude once again to all those who stood by me throughout the journey. My family, friends, and colleagues, all your encouragement and unwavering support have sustained me. On this audience, I cite my godfather in NDA, Major General Wiwa. Kede Wiwa go wrong? Then Kede Wiwa will say, Kede Iraboh go and hunch. And right in this audience, I also cited my roommate who brought me up, who taught me how to hunch, who left, then Cadet A.S. Garba, who left as squadron leader A.S. Garba. I'd like to thank you for those beautiful times that we shared right in India up until now. God bless you all. Let me equally thank the publisher and the entire production team for the professionalism and commitment that have transformed this vision into reality. The special guest of honor, sir, as well as chairman, the guest of honor, our royal fathers, everyone, I'd like to thank you for what indeed value that you have brought into my life and indeed in this work. God bless you all. Now, this moment, I must say, holds very special meaning to me. Earlier on, and by the way, thank you, CDS, for wishing me a happy 60th birthday, because in 2 days' time, by the special grace of God, I will mark my 60th birthday. And I cannot think of a more fitting gift to myself than this lunch. And for the eminent personalities that have come to honor this invitation, I'm truly, truly grateful. On behalf of my family and I'd like to thank you. Now, the account in this book is a painful truth as I see it. It is my hope that it will elicit a national conversation, which is aimed at focusing attention on credible solutions to the nation's challenges. As we unveil this book, I invite you to join me on a journey of reflection, empathy, and hope. I have always believed that man exists to solve problems. If you are not solving any problem, then your existence is worthless. Therefore, let us remember the victims of Boko Haram's atrocities. And let us also note that scars, the journey, Nigeria's journey and Boko Haram conundrum is not an indictment. Take it from me, it's not an indictment. It is a national soul-searching presentation. It is an awakening reality to either act dutifully for progress or do nothing and tend towards extinction. May that not be our portion. Hence, let us recommit ourselves to building a nation anchored on justice, equity, and peace. For me, this book is not just a narrative. It is a call for sustained hope and optimism. In the words of Nelson Mandela, I do not lose. I either win or I learn. Therefore, our national experiences should be seen as wins and lessons. Let me add that the proceeds from this book will be used to sustain support to schools and hospitals, which my family and I have been committed to over the years. Once again, thank you for being here. As I assure you that SCARS is quite optimistic that collectively we can turn our SCARS into victories of national sprawling nationhood. Once again, thank you and God bless.
That applause is not strong enough for this. As our author takes his handshakes and commendations, I would like to quickly salute the patience of the representative of Mr. President, the Honorable Minister of Defense. We want to thank you so much, sir, for being so patient and be here with us. At this point, we'll very now quickly want to unveil this book and then proceed perhaps with a very, very light launch, I'll put it that way, of the book from anybody. This is not a commercial enterprise, and you have heard from the author. The proceeds are going to support medical and health programs that they already have identified as a family. So clearly there's no chief launcher, none of that is happening. But what we have been able to do, as you well know, the author is a man who's built up so much relationships across not only the military establishment, but in Nigeria as a whole. It pleases us, therefore, that this afternoon, another revered gentleman, a man who is very authored and learned himself, former Chief of the Naval Staff, Vice Admiral Dele Joseph Izoba, would step up now to come and officially unveil this book. And I think it would be good for the author to join him, the author and his wife, to join him as he comes forward. He said to me that the author has been a dear friend, a dear brother. Yes, so come and tell us what to do. Don't point at me there. So I think we're supposed to sorry? This one? Well, it's sitting on. How many are we filling up? There are many now. Huh? How many? Remove them. Okay. I mean, what is that? Just. Huh?
Madam, ask Madam to come forward. When they take the pictures, come forward. Come here. Just stay for her so that we go see you. Tom.
Is it here? Is it here? Zokowa here? Eh? Zokowa is here. I will call him for the council.
Yes. Okay.
Your Excellency, the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, ably represented by the Minister of Defense, the chairman of today's occasion, President Olusegun Obasanjo, a special guest of honor, President Goodluck Jonathan, to whom I owe a lot of debt of gratitude, because on his presidency, he found me worthy to appoint me as the Chief of the Naval Staff. I say thank you very much, sir. Our royal fathers, ministers, the Chief of the Defense Staff, service chiefs, serving and retired, governors represented and those present here, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, Once again, you're all welcome. We have just a simple task here this afternoon to unveil the book. But before then, let me congratulate my brother Lucky Iraboh, the Chief of the Defense Staff, retired but not tired, and his lovely wife for finding time to put his thoughts together in a documentation that will stand for the rest of eternity. It requires a lot of courage, discipline, and strength of character. Well done. This book, like we've been told, is going to serve a fundamental purpose in our national history, either to fill the existing gap in literature or to add value to the depth of scholarly work that has been done with regards to national security in Nigeria. I thank all of you. With these few remarks, we will go to unveil the book, Scars as It Is, the Nigeria's Journey and the Boko Haram Commando. Thank you very much.
I shall be asking the unveilers to remain as I invite His Excellency, former Governor of Delta State, Dr. Ifeanyi Okowa, who I'm told is in the hall, to please come and join us. I would also respectfully like to invite our chairman of the occasion, President Chief Olusegun Obasanjo, President Dr. Goodluck Ebele Jonathan, to kindly come and join us on stage now. Also, the book reviewer, Bishop Kuka, the Sultan of Sokoto, kindly all come, please. General Mongunu. It is difficult. See, I don't know. They wired it, so there's something they plugged here. That's my issue.
Okay, so let's shift them a little.
We should come this side, but they will be away from the book. You understand? Can we do it this way, please? Yes. Don't worry. Just calm down. We'll do it. We'll sort it out. Yeah? We'll sort it out. Okay, maybe, and this thing is heavy.
Let's see whether they can move it. Hold on. Hold on.
Can we move it a bit?
Yeah, he's good. What are you doing?
Biggie. We need to move this.
Let them bring the book so they can hold it.
Yeah. Please, who has the books, please? We need copies of the books, please. Copies of the book. Can you take it from this angle?
Can we go by the top channel?
Sorry? No, not yet. No, it will block their view. That's why I said this thing was too high. I said bring it down. Nobody listened. So okay, so this set is done. The author and his wife would remain. All the representatives of governors, deputy governors here present, please, your turn. Come on stage now, please. All representatives of governors. We know there's Katsina, there's Rivers, there's Delta, there's Nasarawa. Please, can you they're coming, please, can we clear this place? Please. Governors, the former Minister of Defense, Magaji, is here. Please join us. Please remember, the president hasn't spoken. Please. Please, let's go back now. Everybody, you have a copy. Where are the books? Okay. Okay, please, you have 10 seconds to take this picture. 10 seconds to take the picture. You're done? Okay, thank you all very, very much. We would now like to Major General Bashir Magashi, retired, kindly come forward. Please, we need to. Major General Bashir Magashi.
While this is going on, as they come forward, please remember that those who are responsible for looking after insurgents that are incarcerated are in the Correctional Service, and the Deputy Controller General of Correctional Service, A.D. Kupan, is here representing the Controller General, Nigeria Correctional Service. Please remember that as has been said, Rwanda has shown an example of unity, so has Singapore. In fact, Singapore has a lot to do with their diversification. They have a national body that looks after diversification in Singapore.
Please, may I ask us to settle down again? The representative of the president is going to speak to us now. Please.
I'd like you to please sit down so that we can respect the representative of Mr. President, who is basically like Mr. President is here himself. The Honorable is here with us, and until you settle to speak to us, please return to your seats. Let's keep the order in the room. Thank you very much. Please clear the aisle. We'll take the other photographs after now. Please return to your seats at this time. Please. Encourage you to be seated at this time. Thank you so much. Please return to your seats. It is now my honor to invite the Honorable Minister of Defense, representing His Excellency, the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, to deliver the President's address at this very important occasion. Please let's welcome him with a round of applause.
Your Excellency, the former President Olusegun Obasanjo, the chairman of this occasion. The guest of honor, His Excellency, former President Goodluck Ebele Jonathan, the Sultan, the Etsenufe, the reviewer of the book, governors and former governors, distinguished ladies and gentlemen. I'm standing on behalf of Mr. President. Therefore, anytime I say I, it's not me, it refers to Mr. President. So it gives me great honor to be part of today's ceremony to celebrate one of our nation's finest. I'm represented by the Honorable Minister of Defense, not as a stand-in, but as a mark of this administration's deep respect for service and sacrifice. We honor those who shaped our history and continue to guide our future with wisdom. Distinguished guests, our esteemed author, ladies and gentlemen, it is an honor to stand before you today to honor a quintessential general on his 60th birthday and unveiling of a timely and thought-provoking book that tackles one of the most pressing challenges facing our nation. Insecurity, which he aptly authored. As we gathered to celebrate the publication of this significant work, we do so with understanding that the issues at hand are complex, multifaceted, and demand our collective attention and action. The book we'll unveil today is more than just a literary compilation, but a call for reflection, a source of insight, and potential catalyst for change. Through its pages, we are invited to explore the root causes of insecurity, to examine the manifestation, and to consider the pathway to a safer, more united and resilient Nigeria. General Iraboh's life and career embody the essence of service. From his early days in the Signal Corps to his advanced training at Obafemi University and Harvard, he blended knowledge with action. He has demonstrated that leadership in war is not solely about firepower, but also about intellect, vision, and resolve. His time at the heart of our counterinsurgency effort was epochal. As the theater commander of Operation Lafia Dole, he confronted an existential threat to our national identity with the desired determination and pragmatism. It was under his command that the armed forces achieved the historic clearance of the dreaded Sambisa forest, which demonstrated an unyielding national resolve. Later, as a commander of multinational joint task force, he mastered the complex art of coalition warfare, harmonizing 4 national armies to secure the Lake Chad region. This success was the practical prelude to his appointment at the 17th Chief of Defense Staff, where he cemented synergy as a non-negotiable operational doctrine for all our services. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, General Iraboh's book, Scars, Nigeria's Journey and the Boko Haram Conundrum, is not only history, it provides guidance for the present and serves as a roadmap for the future. A scar tells a story. It reminds us of pain, but it also proves that survival is possible. Therefore, the scars we carry as a nation are evidence of our resilience. They remind us of the sacrifice of our heroes past, soldiers, displaced families, and communities, sacred but unbroken. This book indeed challenges us to learn from those experiences and to build a safer and stable tomorrow. Relevant technology, we are also streamlining intelligence gathering capability and deepening regional partnership to boost collective security. We are investing in a whole of a society approach to security so that peace is not only won on the battlefield, but sustained in daily life with participation of the citizens. Let all Nigerians be aware that we will not rest until we defeat all indices of insecurity. I would like to extend my deepest gratitude to the author for his dedication, research, and commitment to shed a light on this critical issue. The work is a testament to the power of ideas and the importance of practical and intellectual engagement in addressing the challenges of our time. Let us use this occasion not only to acknowledge the book, but also to reaffirm our commitment to working together toward a future where every Nigerian can live without fear, thrive in peace, and contribute to the nation's greatness. General Iraboh's work is a reminder that every scar is both a warning and a lesson that teaches us never to forget the cost of peace and never to abandon its pursuit. At this juncture, I wish to bid General Iraboh happy 60th birthday. To your dear wife and family, I extend the nation's gratitude. Madam, your sacrifices have been the quiet strength behind his hard service, and therefore part of Nigerian strength. I thank you, and God bless you.
Thank you very much, Honorable Minister of Defense. As he stands, sir, may I ask you to step this way? Mrs. Iraboh, kindly join your husband. The author would now be presenting a copy of the book that is going to His Excellency, the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu. It's already been autographed by the, yeah? So he gets that. And I think the Minister of Defense himself will get his own copy, yes, now. So he's going home with at least 2 copies of this book, and this one is for him in person. Thank you very much, Honorable Minister. Thank you, author. Let me also then announce the author insists that his team of members of the 34th regular course are here, and we would like to applaud all of you for coming here to support one of your own members of the 34th regular course. So now, having dispensed with all of that, we will now go to supporting this book. There is something I have been given here, but I am too scared to deliver it. Someone in the audience came to me and says, you know, when Baba was speaking, Baba said, if you take too much time, I will go. If you take a bit more, it will be double. The man says, well, check. Maybe Baba has come here with a bit of cough. And so, you know, Baba is like that. So, Baba, you see now, all of you naysayers, you see what has happened? Baba, all that's left is for you to drink it, but I know security won't allow you to drink it.
Henry, let's shut
Sure.
up. Where are we
need to
going now?
Okay, we're coming now to the support for the book. I think we're reasonably done. We would like anyone in the audience, like we said, this is not one of those formal lunches. If you're moved by the spirit of the occasion to support this laudable work that General Lucky Iraboh has presented to Nigeria today and the world, please, we would yield time for you on stage here to come and support this book. Money if you want, in any shape or form. The time is yours now.
We can't take more than 5. Today is Friday, so there are those who need to go to the mosque. And so we will take 5 persons who would volunteer to come here quickly, and we'll give each person 1 minute each, and then we'll be done in 5 to 10 minutes. So those who need to go to the mosque will go. We also have our ushers around the room and our event planners who have copies of the book if you want to do this silently. Again, remember that we recognize the Comptroller of the Correctional Services who is here with us. In the meantime, please, Mr. Chairman has risen.
Okay.
Please, let us have some ushers to go around because today is Friday. As they go around, whatever you want, you write note, whatever, or give it in 5 minutes and we'll be done.
Thank you, sir.
Please, you have heard from our chairman. Where are our ushers? Kindly go around with your pledge slips, with the copies of the book. In the meantime, whilst that is ongoing, I'd like to invite Mr. Joshua Leo Iraboh to step forward, and whilst we're busy getting copies of the book, Mr. Joshua Leo Iraboh will give us the official vote of thanks. Mr. Leo Iraboh, thank you.
Thank you very much. The special guest of honor, His Excellency, the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, the chairman of this great occasion, and the guest of honor, former presidents of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, honorable ministers and state governors here present, the service chiefs, principal staff officers, all distinguished senior government and military officials, royal fathers here present, ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. It is with great honor and a heart full of gratitude I offer the vote of thanks on behalf of my family and the organizing committee. This morning and afternoon has truly been a landmark occasion, marking the public unveiling of a book that I believe will be pivotal to the ongoing conversations about our nation's security and future. Because of this, I give gratitude to God Almighty for the success of the unveiling and launch. I also extend my profound appreciation to His Excellency, the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, GCFR, ably represented by the Honorable Minister of Defense, Alhaji Mohammed Baduru Abubakar MON, for gracing this occasion. Your presence here is a powerful testament to the leadership's commitment to thoughtful engagement on matters of national security and development. I am deeply grateful to the chairman of this occasion, the former president of Nigeria, Chief Olusegun Obasanjo, GCFR, for your presence and excellent remarks, and secondly, for penning down such a powerful foreword for the book. Also, my appreciation is in no small regard to the former president of Nigeria, Dr. Goodluck Ebele Jonathan, GCFR, for honoring this invitation and your excellent remark as well. Thank you very much, sir. I must say a big thank you to the keynote speaker, the former National Security Advisor, Major General B.M. Monguno, CFR, for your insightful keynote. And to all the speakers providing views on the way forward on national security, I say a big thank you for your contributions to the discourse today. To all the top government and military officials and traditional rulers here present, I extend a heartfelt gratitude to you.
Television. You've been watching.